we get started with the video, I just want to give some hindsight on playing Doomfist on this map. This map is sort of a 50-50 chance with Doomfist, and by that I mean that when playing Doomfist, you can either have the best game of your life or just feed incredibly hard. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because it's up to you whether or not you want to play Doomfist on this map, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. When coming out of spawn on attack, I usually go out right door because that lets you set up for the flanks, which I'll talk about in a second. But when you're punching out, I try and punch over this door because if the other team is holding straight choke and they have some sort of sight under the bridge, there's always a chance, like a small chance, that they can see you passing by and therefore have a longer knowledge of your flank. Speaking of the flank, you have two options here. You can either the one that everyone knows about and set up on the castle for the rollout, or you can set up on the rooftop and roll out from there, which I suggest you don't do because the whole team is going to see you when you're slamming off and it's just a higher risk compared to the flank on the right. When you're on the right side, everyone's going to suspect your rollout from the castle because that's one of the oldest flanks that everyone has adapted to now. So instead of that, I suggest you go to the room in the back and slam out from there because you'll have an easier escape and they won't have as much time to react to, since when you're coming out from castle, they can easily react when you're spending like 10 seconds in the air compared to the fast slam you'll get while coming out from the back room. Once your team is pushed up and they're already capping the point, the area around point is a great spot to just do Doom things because the place where defenders usually stand around is very enclosed and it's really easy to just punch people and get out. After you've capped point A, many Dooms will usually go high ground, which I honestly do sometimes, but I regularly just stick with the team because when the defenders are setting up to defend this corner, the DPS will 99% of the time stay on high ground, and it is definitely not a good idea to try and flank them because they'll probably hear you and you'll most likely feed like always. So instead of that, like I said earlier, I stick with the team and kill what's around point, and if the defenders DPS are doing a lot, that's when I push for them with the help of someone instead of just pushing them alone and feeding. But if you get held in this area, I'll always go for the flank to the castle and go for the tanks and supports, which usually will be holding near or underneath bridge, but that's only if the DPS aren't on high ground. If the DPS are high ground, I'll go for them first. Another great flank option is if you're scared of the DPS on high ground and you can't really take care of them, you can always flank under castle and pop up next to the team, which I'd say is definitely a safer strategy. I also recommend slamming onto them and not punching them because if you charge up your punch here, you're gonna have to walk around the wall, which will give the enemy team a longer time to react to you, so slamming is definitely what you want to do. Once you pass the first corner and the enemy team is respawning, the best thing you could do is to set up on the floors above the doors of the castle, because from here you can do a lot of things. You can punch them into your team, you can boop them off the map, you could deny people from going high ground, punch them as they're walking through the doors. The options are yours and it's up to you what to do. The last point for Doom, in my opinion, is very strange because on paper, the point should be great for him because it's very compact and there's walls everywhere, but for some reason, I just can't do much of them on this point. Like, I'll usually swap off Doom, but on the rare occasion that I do feel like playing Doom, there's no flanks that you could probably pull off without being seen, so I'll usually just slam or punch to the team and hope that I get out with a kill. Now, when you're about to cap and it's the last fight, before the enemy team comes out, try and set up on either side of the high ground because you can get some more easy damage with your slams to confirm kills, or you can get easy unexpected punches due to the fact that they didn't see you set up in the first place, and not only that, but also because this area is also really small. When defending Eichenwalde, this is where Doomfist shines most on this map. Attack Doom is pretty iffy, but defense Doom plays out much better. On point A, instead of doing the old castle rollout, which results in a feed every time, I stand on the stairs in the right room because from here, you can deny the DPS from getting on the bridge, and you can stop tanks from pushing past bridge with your punch. When going for recontest, you have two options that will get you kills. The first is to very quickly go high ground and roll out from one of these two spots, and the second is to actually go to the main door, but instead of exiting right, you exit to the left and you die whatever enemy is there. Most of the time there will be a DPS or support there, and the kill on them can definitely win you the point back. Now, when it comes to defending the second point of Eichenwalde, every section of the point involves you being on high ground. When defending the first corner, you play high ground and do Doomfist things off the side, and that will get you value. When defending under bridge, you play high ground and slam off the side and get value. And when defending the main bridge, you also play on the high ground to set up for boops. You can do whatever you want on this point as long as you're positioning yourself mainly on high ground. But that's not to say you can't play low ground. There are definitely some great flank spots in the first corner and on the main bridge, and if you can't set up high ground, these spots are a great resort. If you're coming back for a last fight before the enemy team caps second point, you won't have time to set up for high ground, so instead, you're just going to want to try and kill whatever's on point. But an even better thing to do is to dive what's in the back. Usually supports or DPS will be playing in the back, and if you have enough people contesting point, you can dive whatever is far away from point from either door. So remember how I said flanking is horrible when attacking third point? Well, while defending third point, flanking is the best thing you could do. Since you have access to 4 different exits on the right side, you can defend every corner of the point with an easy flank that will get you high value. Also, if flanking isn't working, you can try playing with your team, which is always a good idea, or you can set up for rollouts on the high grounds or on the chandeliers. Choice is yours. That'll be it today for the series. Let me know if this video was helpful or not, and what I can work on to make these better. As I guess you can call it a bonus, here's a clip that's going in my next video on Eichenwalde, showing what a good rollout can do. And as always, thank you for watching.
I heard it, dude. I heard my death coming. Super fighter coming from nowhere.